Welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower. With me today, we got
Kyle McIntyre.
Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
What's shaking? What's grooving? What is good?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I've been waiting all week to tell you about my haircut I just got.
Oh, nice.
Actually, yeah, I think it was, I don't know when I got my haircut like late last week, I think.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, I really needed one.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, it really didn't look that bad, I guess,
Mhm.
but I couldn't style it because of the way that the guy cut my hair.
Yeah. And it was also just long, too.
Yeah. And
It
it was
probably
like,
hot as fuck.
it's hot, yeah. So it's like, we're into 90s. 99 is the hottest I've seen it. Well, 104, but I was driving through that neck of hell.
Yeah.
I spent some time in 99 heat, but it's gonna get up there.
Oh, it's a brisk 99. Don't worry.
Training myself to sometimes just turn the AC off, roll the windows down, and roll and just ride through it.
Yeah.
See if I can stand like 10 minutes of it.
Yeah. You get that.
And you're like, nope.
Was the two?
I can't do it. Can't do it. I can't do it knowing that there's an AC that's like perfectly functional.
You get the 270 AC, two windows down, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, speed limit around here.
Yeah,
allows for that. By the way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I went to like just like a I've been to it before, not for a haircut, but because they're a customer of mine.
Yeah,
and I kind of just went in there and got it, and I think it turned out pretty good. Definitely helps with the what
they like, they got it just the way I like. They put like empty out the bowl of cereal, put it on my head, and just
draw a line around it, do a chalk line snap around the outside of my head,
so,
like it's a construction site.
A bowl cut.
Like they're doing flooring.
Yeah. The chalk line snap. I didn't think about it until you meant I didn't visualize it until you said it.
How would you do that in a circle? It's like or you do a rubber band.
It's like a neon green on your head, and then they
yeah, you just follow that line.
Oh, that's good. But yeah, so you got your haircut going. You're stunting now.
Yeah. No, I feel like a different man.
Whole new man.
Dude, it's so stupid, but it's pretty amazing actually. I guess enough about my hair.
Yeah, I'm at a point where
my beard too.
Oh yeah,
I just trimmed it up to match.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm at a point where I kind of need a haircut, and so I was gonna go back and get one, but I have this fucking really like two pimples right next to each other at my hairline.
Yeah,
and my back of my neck. I'm like, my hair's long, it kind of covers it up. But I'm like, dude, it's fucking nasty. It won't go away. It kind of starts going away. I'm like, okay, cool. And then next day, or like one random day, it'll come back with a vengeance.
Hit it with some peroxide, dude. Dry that thing out.
Yeah, just fucking take a fucking blowtorch and burn that bitch off.
Just scar your skin.
Yeah,
cauterize those things, baby.
Yeah,
you just take like a metal spoon and.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, maybe. But I'm like, it's getting hot. I'm like, it'd be nice to have shorter hair, but and then I have a nasty fucking zit there. So I'm right now at the mercy of my zit. But yeah.
No, I gotcha. Since I was sweating so much, I had like little bumps all over my scalp.
Yeah, I think that's
what I'd find them and I'd like pop them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whatever. That's not gonna be good when whoever has cut my hair. I'm like, I don't care.
Fuck them.
You're probably used to it. It's Texas.
It's Texas.
like they're known for like nasty boils and stuff or whatever.
And you're saying like, oh, here in Texas, I'm like a dime piece.
Yeah, I'm like a 10, dude, walking around. I'm like a snack walking around here. Everyone's licking their lips when I walk by. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah, on
California boy.
Yeah. Kyle, it's like you spray paint on your car, you get a graphic instead of like time machine, it's dime machine.
But it's like dime. Do you say dime or dine?
Yeah, a dime.
I'm dining. Dining.
Well, you say like a good looking
10.
person's a 10. They're a dime piece. It's a dime machine.
Dang.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I remember someone saying, "Oh, when you're on tour, people love Californians. They hate Californians here. So I remember, I forgot who said that. It was our buddy, I think. Yeah, man, you tour through some of these small towns that you say you're from California, you know, they love you. I'm like, no, not here.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I thought.
I've heard that I've heard the California thing's bad. Like,
well, it is
because
now.
when we, yeah, because a lot of
when
people
say California, they spit. They go, California.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I mean, I think your exact situation. It's like, oh, they can afford a house there, but they can't do it in California. Like, oh, cool. Thanks for buying up the property. And then,
yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Like, our infrastructure isn't meant for this influx of people, but thanks for coming over here.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for driving up the housing market. You know,
Adam used to live there, and he said, like, dude, the traffic was terrible because they're not really meant for that many people, and they just keep going and going and going and going. It's just getting worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't be in the city, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is bad sometimes. He ain't lying. Oh.
What the fuck does he know? I'm like, he lived there 3 years. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not a true Texan. I'm like, well, he lived there for 3 years. Fuck.
Yeah, besides the haircut, been playing Fallout. Did I talk about I've been playing video games, but Fallout, I started that bad boy up.
Yeah, I think when we last saw our hero, he was playing GTA. This what's new just sucks dick.
I know, this is horrible.
So, I was driving the other day, and there was road, and then it was behind me after I drove past it.
And then I pulled into a driveway and I realized I was at home. Riveting.
It's like funny for us, and people are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Well, anyways, like,
when's he gonna get to the game talking part?
I know the game I have, like the saved game I have going on.
Yeah.
I have like all these mods and cheat codes in there. Dude, I'm wrecking. It's like there's no, like, it's almost to the point where it's like, should I start this over? Because I'm just like, I put like modern weapons in there, or like weapons you'd have from like today.
Yeah.
Fallout like takes place in the future, which there's like, pulse magnetic guns and rail gun, like stuff like energy plasma things, or I can pull out like a Kalashnikov. I'm like, because that's what I have the mod on there. It's like a modern weapon.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'm just like, just wrecking.
It's like not even fun anymore, but you're still like, well, I still want to fuck things up. So
well, I have unlimited health because I can't get hurt. I'm playing like Doom with God mode on,
Exactly. It's like
unlimited ammo.
You're just a cheater, and you're like, man, I love this game. I'm so good at this game.
Yeah, dude. I have full AP, which is like attack points.
Yeah.
Full attack points. So I'm just like, use attack. Use attack as many people as you want.
That's the best way to play a game with no challenge.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm still playing the missions too. I'm like, oh, that was easy. I don't know why I thought it was so hard before. I don't know. Maybe because you have like no way of dying, no way of running out of ammo. You don't ever have to like run out of ammo and have to melee someone on like and run away.
The only way the game loses is when you're tired and have to turn it off. You're like, you win today.
House wins.
House wins. That's pretty good. You can't die. You're like, man, this is so easy.
Well, yeah, like I'm still like figuring out the controls. I had like 2 or 3 enemies run up on me. I'm like, they're just attacking me while I'm trying to figure out the buttons.
You look it up on your phone and like, what does this button do?
They're just beating the hell out of me. Just like, taking it. All right.
Yeah.
Spray and pray.
Like, God damn, I'm a good gamer.
No, it's fun. I mean, it's still fun. It's still like exploring and walking around and stuff. Because it's like open world game, so you can like, you can choose to play the game, or you just walk around and kill like, monsters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess so. In the real world, I went out. I went to some boat races.
Oh yeah.
Sent a couple videos.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like it's the most redneck thing I've done while I've been here.
Yeah.
Except for like show up, like get some skull,
or like
walk around.
You went line dancing, right?
I didn't line dance.
Yeah.
I grabbed a BL and rest up against the bar.
Posting up, make sure the bar doesn't float away.
Yeah. Because of all the humidity. So, yeah, I went to this boat races.
Your little brother's line dancing, but he's got water wings on too. That's how humid it is.
It's like
he's got his boots on, his cowboy hat. And he's just like, but he's still
splashing around.
The splash zone.
There's a splash zone.
Yeah, because they're the shit kickers, they're water kickers.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, so I went to these boat races where it's just like a drag race down like the river, down the lake. It's a lake/river.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny that they still call it a river or a lake. You're like, what is that? It kind of looks more like a river. Oh, but this part looks more like a lake. I just call them both. This gave it both names. Well, one will be Lake Marble Falls, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the map, also it's the Colorado River too. So, okay. Yeah. So the river goes down the middle of it. But anyways, who's counting?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. So I saw it. Maybe you could post it a video in the group or whatever, or comment on the video. And we can put.
There's some loud boats, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Was it like
they tried to get $20 out of me? By the way.
Oh, because
I said
not happening.
Yeah. No, it's like a public park that they closed off so you could sit and watch on like the bank of the river.
Yeah. Was it like free but suggested donation? $20?
No. It was like a general admission was like $20.
Yeah.
And so I parked and like walked in and the guy's like, "Oh, you're going to want to walk up there to the," because I could see the river from where I was like, "Oh, this road goes straight to the river. Oh, you're going to have to go up to get your ticket up top." I'm like, "Okay." I walk up to it and I just walk back down to the to that road I saw.
Yeah.
And I just stood there. I'm like, all right, I'll catch a couple of videos. I was waiting for my brother and my sister's husband to show up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, all right, I'm kind of done. I'm like getting baked in the sun. So I'm like, there's a bridge right above where they're doing like the races. I'm like, let's just go up there. It's probably a better view. Anyways, went up there and it was cool to see like the full, because when I was down on the river, I couldn't see like the full run of the boat.
Yeah.
You could see them. These things are going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. That's
on
cool.
Like a moving like fluid,
Yeah.
It's like 100 miles an hour in a car is like, oh shit, like, oh, I'm scared. But this is on like something that could like have like something that's bumpy,
Yeah. I think I've said before, I don't think I've ever gone 100 miles an hour in my car.
You should do it right now. Let's pause this thing. See if you can make it.
Took my bottles and cans in. I had my whole. Talked. Anyways, it was like, and I was like, man, I got rid of. We were joking around like the weight of those bottles and cans over like the past 9 months or whatever was like it was like 300 pounds, and it's like, oh, that's killing your gas mileage, And I was texting you today. I was like, oh, this morning when I took them in.
Yeah.
And then I was driving to Brian's. I'm like, dude. This thing is so zippy now. I mean, it doesn't. There's no fucking.
It's a huge, long ass F-150.
It's a truck, a V8 truck, and I'm like, bro, I fucking kicked it up to 80 on the way.
It was like a little Miata riding around town.
Just burned a quarter tank of gas to get it up to 80. Just blasted into Brian's place. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. This thing is so light. It's just like, it's just like a gallon or like quarter tank of gas gone. Worth it. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, is that the same lake or river that you've gone swimming in or whatever?
I haven't gone swimming in this one actually. It is, I guess it's part of the same body of water.
Yeah.
It's part of the same river system, right? But this one is like in the community that I'm looking for a house at.
Yeah.
So
you can like just swim in that lake, right? Or is it just for boats or whatever?
No, you can swim in it. It was closed because of the boats.
They don't want
that part of the river was at least.
They want somebody doing doggy paddle and just boom,
just get obliterated.
doing
turbo prop,
doing the backstroke and just blam.
Jeez, that'd be crazy.
And then you could drink on that at the lake, right?
Yeah, you can drink.
So
You don't want to be drunk though.
Who cares? I like it.
There's the laws out there too, dude. This isn't maritime. This isn't like on the high seas, dude.
Well, yeah, you're in the ocean. There's no laws out there.
There's still laws.
Literally,
like international law.
Yeah, a lake. There's a law. You just. What about? I mean, what if you're tubing? You just like be wasted.
Oh yeah, you could because you're not operating a motor vehicle.
You're just letting the ocean take its
vessel.
or the water take its course.
Yeah, you just die.
That's what, dude. It's like once you get your place, we got to cruise out there, and we just go tubing for like a day. We just fucking get blitzed.
Yeah.
We just hang out in the tubes, drink a bunch of White Claws.
Yeah, tie yourself to the shore.
We can be like otters. We can be like otters, and we just hold hands, so we're all together.
Yeah,
you, me, and Johnny, and we just hang out there.
Yeah,
and we just fucking have our asses in the lake, just shitting.
Gosh.
That's the dream. Just to shit in the water.
So that lake actually, that area, I guess I should say, we did get the
take a dump.
Offer Shut up!
I know. Just take a dump, like off the
salt life stuff, dude. That's salt life.
Off the bridge, you're just like, oh, I gotta take a shit, so you just dump off the bridge into.
That was a highway right there, like the highway. It's like if you took a shit off the 5 freeway. And if it was 2 lane.
Oh, that's good.
So
salt
that
life.
Area, yes, salt
but
life.
It's not salt life. There's no salt in there.
Do I see people with those stickers on their trucks? Salt life. I'm like, where are you finding the salt at?
Weren't you saying it's so far away from the nearest ocean?
Oh yeah, the nearest ocean's like 7 hours. I guess if you go to Houston's close.
Yeah.
Houston's kind of close to the water. So, I mean, Houston's like 3 hours. Right?
They go to Houston once and they slap that motherfucker on their truck. You're like, yeah.
Dude, Houston might as well.
I earned this.
I make the joke like, oh, you're going to Houston? Like Cameron's going there. Like, oh, take a boat with you because like his floods. Like, take your floaties.
Yeah,
man, it's not underwater this time of year. Dang.
Yeah,
it's like the wet season, like in Africa.
Yeah.
Anyways, we did get accepted on the house there. So on that new one I was talking about. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see if we get some broken hearts coming up here.
Yeah,
but
it's like yeah. I mean, I don't know almost nothing. I know jack shit about houses. Like I said last time.
Well, yeah, I'm just figuring out when things come up. All right, we need you to sign this. I'm like, what's this? Oh, this is $50 for this. This is $300 for that. I'm like, oh, okay.
What the fuck?
God damn
it! I got knocked down, and I got. That's what it sounded like you did. That's the soundtrack. When you finally sit in your empty new house, like, I take a whiskey drink, I take a lager drink, I take a cider. But it was Brian's getting a new place, drummer.
Yeah.
And he was like saying, I'm not gonna celebrate until I get the fucking keys in my hand.
Yeah.
He's like, until I get that, that's when I'll say that I have the house. He's like, anything can happen or whatever.
You set yourself up for some, broken heart thing. My wife on the last house, oh, we could do this with the house. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. And then it fell through. It's like, and then on this one, she's like, we could do this. I'm like, wait.
Hey, why don't you chill out?
Just let's not work ourselves into this one too.
You're like,
who knows what'll happen?
You're like,
you jinxed it. Wait, what was that?
You're just making noises. Just like, she's like trying to talk to you over the phone. You're like,
just doing your improv jazz,
just to get her to stop, or you do like the. But yeah, it's cool. You're one step closer.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Should be like middle of next month. We'll find out. So
yeah.
And then I went and saw a movie.
Oh yeah, what'd you see?
So I went and saw Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah,
actually. So I never saw the first one or whatever that one was.
Mm-hmm.
It just looked horrible.
Yeah.
This one
didn't
was
look good either, but yeah.
No, I liked the when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, this is like a lot more like lighthearted, like and it's the same director from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, it'll probably be, and it was really funny actually. It was really good.
It's just supposed to be fun and silly, right?
Yeah, and it was like super random, and humor was good, and it was. I actually really liked it.
Nice. No, I'm just kidding. Like I saw that. I don't know any of those characters. Maybe just
well, that's the point. Is
Harley
like
Quinn, and then I was like, oh, and then there's a shark guy. Well, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, he's actually from something. Obviously, they're all from something.
Yeah. And then I'm
they're
like,
all from comic books.
And then the reason I say that is like I think it's just I'm bombarded with these ads on Reddit. It's like every third post is like Suicide Squad thing. And I'm like, when did they have ads on Reddit?
Always, dude. They've always had ads.
I guess I've never noticed.
There's just even more. There's more of them
it's
now.
Just the frequency of it is a lot
always
more.
Sponsored. Oh, I always look at the username. I always look in that corner first.
Uh-huh.
If it's sponsored, I just keep scrolling.
Yeah. And so I just kept seeing that, and then on YouTube I'm like, oh, I got it. There's a movie out. Got it. And I think I watched the trailer. I'm like, I'm like, I've never heard of any of this. It's a DC thing though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's DC, which, I mean, the director did a Marvel series before. He's in a couple. James Gunn, I think is his name.
I guess I don't know a whole lot about DC comics. I didn't even know a whole lot about Marvel comics, but I really
watched more of the cartoons and stuff, but I did have a lot of DC comics.
But
my aunt worked at Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
She had like stacks of that stuff.
Did you like the Batman animated series?
Yeah, I did actually.
I heard that was really good.
One. Yeah, it was good. I remember was it like early 2000s or something, or
I think it was like early
late 90s.
Late 90s, something like that.
Yeah.
Heard it was actually pretty good, maybe worth a watch. Like maybe.
Yeah.
As an adult.
Was it and then was it Batman Beyond I'll have to look into Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But
anyway, so you saw it. You saw it in theaters, or did you see it on HBO
saw it in theaters
now or whatever,
Max or whatever?
Yeah,
no, I didn't. I watched it in theaters.
Nice.
So it was good. It's good experience. How my sister and her friends, just like the old man of the group.
Yeah,
that trailer, that preview looks stupid. Oh.
They just keep remaking things. Is it just they just don't have any original ideas anymore? Is that it? No,
I'm looking around, talking to everyone who's not like you're not whispering. You're like looking at people.
You're looking. It's like no, you look
asking
at
hypotheticals to people.
Your sister. Like no, I'm asking you. It wasn't. Are you ignoring me? You're talking
look at me.
Full volume.
Just, yeah,
that's what
I would recommend it.
My dad says. I was doing it in my dad impression.
Your dad's voice, yeah.
And I just don't think they have him anymore. Is anybody listening
to
your dad
back on the show?
Yeah,
101.
Yeah.
I guess more news is I will be back in San Diego on the 3rd of next month. So we can hang out, do some podcasts.
Yeah, there we go.
We could get like 20 podcasts, so we don't have to do any more for the rest of the year.
Just bank them all.
That should be good.
Just get them.
It'd be so shitty. Like the topics, it'd be so bad.
It just yeah, they're just so derivative.
Yeah. We already covered that one on the last podcast.
Well,
a week later, you're listening to it. What the fuck?
Well, even just sometimes doing the Patreon and the main episode, I'm like, did we say that? I don't remember. Fuck it.
Who cares?
Or somebody's like, you said it on the fucking last one. I do like that sometimes with some podcasts. They do repeat things, and I'm like, as like a listener that just marathoning a podcast, which is not, I don't think they're how they're designed. I'm like, I'm listening to Tasteless Jones. Alex, you said that already. Fuck, the third time. And I'm like, how does nobody stop them?
Yeah.
And then I think
we do it.
Become a joke on Just Surprise Me. There's like a story Joseph tells about like how did I ever tell you about how I almost died from like getting ran over by a ship? But jumping off a pier or whatever. And then he mentioned it a couple of times. He's like, well, I could talk about that one time I almost got killed by a fish.
That's just the joke now.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, oh, but I mean, I'm also like, because he says it with like also a brag too. He's like, I'm also a really strong swimmer, so luckily I didn't. And so sometimes when I'm on, I'm like, I don't know, do you want to? And he says, I'm like, oh, I could talk about how I'm a really strong swimmer. So I do think sometimes those are funny when you lean into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll be in town for like, I think 8 or 9 days. I'll have to look it up, but
yeah,
be moving some stuff.
Yeah. Packing things up, and you're like
packing things up. Yeah. Cause and if not, like if we don't get this house, we'll still be ready for the next time, I guess, but
yeah,
it just needs to get done anyways.
Yeah. You basically start like loading up a U-Haul. I'm like, all right, cool, we're ready to go. And you just take it to the dump and just push it into drive and just
I put a brick on it and just let it drive into the it's not even over a cliff, it's just into the trash pile.
It's just
And like I think the dude who's like driving the thing that crushes it, the big excavator, like he's gonna like not see it and he just stops. Like,
yeah.
There's gonna be like some epic action scene that's gonna run over and explode.
It's just a U-Haul, it's not even yours.
Yeah.
You're running away in the middle of the dump, you're like, the keys are in the car, keep it.
They unload it for me and return it. Thanks, guy.
It's your responsibility now, so they actually take responsibility.
Yeah. Well, you heard what he said.
Oh shit,
you heard him, boys.
You heard him, fellas. That's
so stupid. It's not even off a cliff. It's just into it, like a trash pile with like mattresses and like plant material and like.
Yeah.
You've been to the dump before.
Uh-huh.
It stinks, dude.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah. Well, I was at the, dropping off my recycling collection or whatever.
Your unmentionables.
Yeah, no. To like get the turn in my recyclables, get the money for it, and bottles, cans, stuff like that. And I was like early in the morning, and then I'm like, oh, sick. I was so early that they started like pumping the fucking shit houses right next to me. Like a truck backs up to him. I'm like, oh no, and that's when it started getting hot. And I'm like, I love that smell of just raw shit being pumped, and then just the heat. And I'm like, well, I love this town.
Dang, dude, I had to shit in a porta potty, and it wasn't even that hot, and it was like disgusting in there.
Yeah,
there's this park, like a really nice park. It's just like I found like the nastiest. I really had to go. This is like Patreon material, but by the way. But yeah, dude, I had to rip one, and it was like not solid. Just I knew it was not.
There was.
I knew it was not gonna be good.
There was no lake close, so I could just diarrhea in the lake.
Oh, I should have done that.
Get an inner tube. I'm like, emergency inner tube, just diarrheaing.
I have to pump it up first.
You just start full. Yeah, I haven't shat in a porta potty in a while, but I mean, I've peed in one, and like it was in Victorville, Adelanto, or whatever at that that motorcycle thing, and I was like, oh, dude, it's like 100 degrees. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's like baking in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not enough to actually dry it out.
It just
enough to just steep it.
Yeah,
like a bag of tea.
It's like a bag of tea. It's a shit piss tea.
The blue shit.
Oh god,
man, it's not good. Anyways, that's not part of my what's new, but yeah, it was pretty eventful. So.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Let's see. So we played a gig this past weekend, or it was like a private party kind of thing.
Oh,
it was
nice.
in like the Victorville, Adelanto area. So when we played that dirt bike event or whatever, I know,
yeah.
It's far, but it was like 2.5 hours away. It's when we played that show, there was this guy and his wife there, and it's like, oh man, we
have this swingers party happening. this fishbowl party, you should come by.
Yeah. But he really liked us. He bought a CD and I think a shirt or something like that. And we kind of just thought like, oh, this guy's just being nice, blowing smoke or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, I really like you guys. I want you to, to come back here and play an event for me. I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Okay. And then we're like, we went home, played that show. And then this guy was, I guess, messaging and emailing, and it was the guy from that show. He was like, oh, my wife's having, we're having a retirement party for her. Da 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 da. And at my house in my backyard, da da da. We want you guys to play if you guys are down. Da da da. And I'm like, and then Brian, we were like, okay. So we talked price to make it worth the time, cover the gas, and then cover like Brian does this thing where he does like PA rental. Like if you're having us bringing the PA, we're gonna do equipment.
Oh, nice.
And so he wrote up a contract and with the pricing, and the guy was like, okay, cool. So I'll pay you up front. Or he's like, I'll pay half up front and then the other half when you guys get here. And nice. He paid immediately. And we're like, wow. Okay, I guess we're doing that then.
All right.
So Brian wrote up the contract of like, we'll play these amount of sets with this many covers at this time, and the guy was like, perfect, this is great. And then so like we're like, okay. And then Brian writes out the contract of like, cancellation if you cancel, and if we cancel, And like Brian does shit actually pretty professional.
Yeah.
And the guy was all about it. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I guess we're doing this. So we went out there and, it was a good amount of money that we were paid. And there was like maybe 20 people there.
Wow.
And I'm like,
that's not that many people for a good paying gig.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, and then everybody was just getting fucked up. Like, holy shit. Like, just ton of like weed everywhere. And the guy was just like, oh, here's just fucking like, he had like a whole like just jars of it. He was giving it to everybody and he was giving it like to Brian and Adam and da-da-da. And I'm like, everybody's just smoking.
Okay. Oh, no, sorry, I don't smoke.
Yeah, and I'm like, Brian, it's like he spoke for me. He's like, oh, no, he's just an observer. He doesn't smoke. I'm like, I could observer. I'm like, I could have said that I don't. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Dang.
And then there's drinking, and then people are just more tequila, margaritas. I'm like, this isn't even a shot. That was like a double that you just drank.
Yeah.
It was 2 shots you just gulp, and I'm like, holy shit! Everybody's just getting fucked up.
It's like, that's not water.
Nope.
I know.
Yeah, I poured it.
Yeah, is that a Patron bottle? I know.
Yeah, and it was like it was good. It was fun. There was beer and food and drinking, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then we played our set, and they loved it. There's people there that I was like, they're like some of them were like a little older crowd, and I could tell like one guy was like sitting down and almost like mean mugging the whole time, and I was like, this guy does not like us. And afterward, he's like, you guys were awesome. He's like, I don't listen to that type of music, but you guys sounded so good. And I'm like, everybody loved it. I'm like, every goddamn person there. So it was 20 people that loved us. I would much rather do that than play for like, 100 people that hate you.
That don't want to be there.
Yeah, that like they love the shit out of it, and then they
all need to ingest $400 worth of alcohol,
and fucking just
Bud Light's not going to do it.
Mountains of
7
weed,
shots of Patron probably can't.
Yeah, just a bunch of weed, like here's a handful of weed for you.
I don't. Brian doesn't like to get crossfaded.
Yeah, and so I needed a bubble, but yeah. And it was rad. And by the time we played, it was dark, so he had like kind of light set up on his patio. Damn. And it was like 100 degrees when we got there, but by the time we played, it was like 75, so it wasn't too bad.
Hell yeah.
And it was cool. And then we there was the guy's like or his wife's brother's band opened up, quote unquote. They had like kind of like a mix of covers and originals, and they're kind of like. They're like, oh, we're a jam band, kind of like not a jam band, but like a bar band. So it's like we'll play for 2 hours. I'm like, that's okay. So they're going, and then we're setting up and getting ready to go, and then we play like an hour set, so 2 half hours, and then
nice.
The way we set up worked out really well, But it was funny. The guy running, the guy who booked us, he was like, "Oh man, is that going to be loud enough? Is that going to be loud enough?" And I'm like, "Dude, we went just through the PA, but I'm like, we don't want to be loud. We want to sound good." I'm like, "This is a backyard. It'd be like the size of like your backyard.
Oh wow.
Maybe even the one in San Diego.
Yeah.
Maybe even smaller where everybody was. Oh God, even just cut off like some of half of that grass area. That's about the size." I'm like,
no way.
You don't need to be loud.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
And then part of that was taken up by a pool that nobody was in.
Good.
No, it was like a thing of like, because Adam
probably don't want a bunch of drunk people.
Well, yeah. It was funny because like
no lifeguard
on
duty.
Oh, there's a pool here, and so Adam was wearing flops and like trunks. He's like, I thought we were swimming. He's like, I'm not gonna be the only dude smoking a blunt in the pool. So he's like, so he plays and he looks like a surfer dude. Just play. but yeah, it was fun. So anyway, so our setup was, all DI through guitar and bass, and then 2 powered amp head, a PA head.
Yeah.
And everything went through that. So drums we mic'd. So it was 8 channels. It was like 1,000 watts or whatever. The PA that Brian and Adam have.
Yeah.
And then we brought 2 15s, and then the guy had a sub there. So we chained that with the amp, and like the powered head ran it. So it was 8 channels, and we were able to kick, snare, and overhead for drums, and then 3 vocal mics, and then XLR for guitar. Adam used my he used my Fractal AX8, and then he's got his Adam JCM 800 patch, and then so we just clicked because that's what we recorded with. We click on that. I'm like, yep, it sounds good because that's exactly what we recorded with. And then I used my dark glass for the DI, and everybody, even the band before, the guy had like a full stack.
Damn,
he had a 15 and 410s and like one of them like I don't know, like 1,000 watt head. And he was like, you could see the speakers move. That's how loud he was. Dang.
He were
pretty loud. They were just loud. And I'm like, all you heard was bass, really loud guitar. He had like a 212 combo and it's just cranking that. And I'm like, you couldn't hear drums at all. Just, I think what we learned at a younger age is like, if everything's so loud, then all you hear is just snare and cymbals.
Yeah.
And that's not very good. So, and it's a kind of like, whatever. It's just they're just jamming or whatever. And then, so we were like, I'm like, no, I think we got our setup. And even the bass player's like, you could totally use my rig, dude. It was like, I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think that's going to be, like, you're not going to be able to feel it. I'm like, no, we pretty confident in our setup. So, we got that going and people were like, that sounded great. Like everybody was like, I don't know if it's going to be loud enough, guys, because there's no amps.
Yeah.
And they were like, this sounded so good because they were listening without earplugs and they could hear everything.
Yeah.
Super clear. And then we had our in-ear setup. Was wired. We're still wired in ears, so like how we did for like
for practice.
Yeah. And then we all shared a mix, so it was like, oh yeah, we could hear everything pretty good. And then we each controlled our output level, so whoever wanted master output or whatever. And then the people we kind of mirrored that with like the output from the speakers, and everybody liked it. They could hear everything, all the vocals, everything, and it wasn't too loud. It was just mixed really well. And I say really well, but I mean, it was. I felt comfortable. We had no monitors on stage. We had the speakers in front of us so that it's just closer to the people. The 20 people. I say like there's a huge crowd. But it was, people were like, yeah, this is punk rock at a comfortable level. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're older crowds, so you don't want to, blow their eardrums out.
And I don't know. I guess I'm past the age of like being loud. I want to sound good. And I think Adam and Brian the same way too. It's like we don't want to be loud. We just want to sound good. And then when you can do that and be dynamic or whatever, it's just like that it's more fun that way for everybody listening instead of like, oh, my ears are being punished.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it totally worked out. So, but we got good feedback, and then we were like, because we were like, every time you play is an opportunity to sell stuff. Not that private party, but like, let's just bust it out while we're breaking down. It's like, hey, we do have shirts and stuff like that if you guys want any. And then like almost everybody brought shirts.
Dang.
Or everybody bought shirts. And then we're like, okay, cool. This is just another. Yeah, we sold more merch than we've ever sold at a show. Because I think everybody might be your thing. It's like everybody's just drunk and happy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, it's like cash, fucking, Venmo, any way to buy it. They're like, yeah, and just like hanging out and just like they put the shirts on right there and just start like drinking more beer. I'm like, dude, this is fucking rad. It's so rad.
Would you like to wear this out of the store?
Yeah. And then
cut the tags off.
And we're like, oh, we're having fun. I'm like, oh, dude, we got to get back because it's another 2.5 hours back home. And then so they're like, oh, you guys can take some food. They kind of just had like sandwiches and stuff like that, like a kind of like a Subway-esque kind of tray deal. And then so like I think we were like, it's funny because it's like at that point it's like oh, here, you guys can take it back. There's so much food. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna clean you guys out. And it's like, and he saw how much more food was left, and so we're just going, like, Adam was just going to town. He packed like just the thing is like a size of a pillow full of sandwiches. And I'm like, we got totally our time's worth for that show. It was awesome.
Dang,
it was a lot of fun. And then we got like some other people. It's like, oh, there's more opportunities out here to play like outdoor events. Like I think there's like a ATV event and stuff like that they're doing.
Nice.
And then it's like, oh, but it's 3 hours away from there.
What?
Like, oh, and they're like, oh, we knew you guys got compensated for this, but we can do that and more for that show if you guys are willing to come out.
You could do that.
Get you guys a trailer so you guys could stay there over the night. I'm like, okay, well, so I'm like, well,
3 hours. What city did they say it was in?
I don't remember. It was all the other guys talking and doing the deals. I'm like, okay, you guys.
Palms were greased.
Yeah.
Backdoor deals were done.
Well, they were selling the stuff while I was breaking. I was like, oh, I'll put away Brian's drum set. I'm like, okay, you go do what you got to do and sell stuff or whatever, talk to people. And then I'm like taking apart Brian's drum set.
It's above my pay grade.
Well, it's like taking apart the drum set. I'm like, oh, I probably took it apart like that one guy took apart Ray. We had a drummer, Ray, and he had a friend who was like a drummer friend. Completely dismantled his equipment.
Like, and to the point where like wing nuts are falling off, springs are coming out of things on the.
I don't know if you guys, listeners know like drum hardware. It's like he completely took every piece of a stand apart and handed it to
like he's like stripping down to like the raw material.
Yeah, here's the springs and the washer and the wing nuts for this Here's
the clamp that's internal inside. Like, yeah, it all just expands out. Like, wait a minute, stop
helping me.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Great. So it was good. And then just kind of like we learned a lot more. And then we're kind of getting the idea of like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should try and like learning more covers and trying to maybe do more private parties. If we can bill it and make it worth our while than doing it,
Damn, that'd be great.
And then they're like, oh, we have more stuff and we have friends that want to do that. If you guys are willing to do that. I'm like, and we driving up to Adelanto every quarter.
Oh, jeez. Every weekend.
Yeah. But it was fun. It's, if the tequila's flowing, then people love, and the weed's going. This constant smoke cloud. Just like fucking, like, what's that one kid on the Peanuts gang? He's got that cloud of dirt, but it's a cloud of fucking smoke.
Yeah. Just flying around.
That's how everybody is there.
Well, they are desert people. Yeah. And they are like living up in the high desert. Mm-hmm. So they're just dirt everywhere. It's true.
Just a blunt in the mouth. I'm like, here you go.
Yeah, just like,
gulping.
Yeah, not always weed. Gulping. Just a little harder.
Yeah. But it was fucking rad. It was fucking rad. So it's fun to play. And we did actually play all the new songs off our EP that we're working on. So all 5 new ones, we debuted them because we're like, oh, might as well get them ready.
Yeah.
I think we're playing them and releasing at Soda Bar in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Like, okay, let's get them played first. And then it's kind of cool to see the reaction to some of these songs. Like one of them that was like, it kind of was my least favorite, recording it and just writing it. And I'm like, this song, it's like almost 5 minutes long.
Jeez.
And it's really like, it was kind of complicated to record it. And it's like this rhythm part where it's just like the same one note. It's just E. And you're playing 6 eighth notes, like ducka 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 ducka. I'm like, that's it. And then, but it's hard to play that actually.
Yeah.
to match everything up with the double bass, the dugga dugga dugga. And then so we once we started getting it down, we're like, okay, we started playing it, and then Brian plays this drum part where he's doing like kind of the kick thing, but he's also doing a tom thing with he's going between the three toms, like between those, and he hits the snare, and it sounds like really big, especially when everything's going together. And then they have this part where like Adam sings and Brian does like a growl, kind of like. So once the thing's going, he goes sleep, ba da ba 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 ba, and it's like, and Brian goes sleep. And it's like, and people are like, "Whoa, this song is sick!" Because we do the intro part, and it's like, okay, music's getting there. And once we do that, we like people are like, "Oh shit!" Just to hear like, because you're right there in a like someone's backyard, you're that close that somebody's like, "Oh," I heard somebody say, "Oh shit," and we're not loud, super loud, that I could hear somebody go, "Oh fuck." So then I could tell like what songs hit that they like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're getting close, and I think we're down to the final like mixes to the songs. Brian's mixing the EP, and we're getting closer. It's like crazy what you can do by yourself with recording. I'm really like, I'm like, oh, dude. And we did everything mix wise in the box. Not super expensive plugins. A lot of just Brian's using either stock Pro Tools ones or some Waves ones. He has one that's a nice channel strip from Solid State Logic, which I guess if you got that and the master or the bus compressor that he uses, it's $300. So that's the most expensive plugin that he's using. And you're listening to it, I'm like, this sounds great. The fact that you can get this with like $30 plugins or included plugins with your DAW.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's crazy where we are now with this type of recording and shit. And then drums, I'm like, I recorded all with just the fucking Fractal, or not the Fractal, but the Focusrite.
Yeah.
Guitar and bass, all Fractal. I'm like, dude. And then most of the vocals were all done with this SM7. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty stoked that like how, I don't know, he's getting really good at mixing. And I'm like, I want him to teach me. So he's gonna give me the session so I can look at all the plugins and what he did and stuff like that. Because I'm like, I want to get good at mixing. But yeah, so things are going well. Definitely
nice.
Playing shows, getting new music out. I'm like, God, this is like every week seems to be like a long what's new. I think we have time for a topic.
Yeah,
let's do the one that we didn't get to last week. What do you
say? Are you sure?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so this is like a bang, marry, kill, but I think there's actually a lot more to go in depth with all these. About Strats. So different types of Strats, and I think Strats are like with a lot of guitars, maybe a lot of Fender guitars. There's so many versions of them that you think of like, oh, a Tele is like, there can be so many different types, or the standard or whatever. Strat, same way. You have I want to do bang, marry, kill with your kind of standard three single coil, the tremolo style Strat. And then I want to do one with the quote unquote punk kind of style Strat. So think of like how Billy Joe has his, or Tom DeLonge, Blink-182, where it's just a single humbucker in the bridge, a volume, hardtail, bridge, nothing else, no tone, no
hardtail or blocked.
Yeah, so it's just you're not getting any use out of the drum, basically.
Yeah,
it's there to hold the string. So no vibratos there for you, no dive bombs, or a super Strat, which is going to be probably dual humbucker, locking, nut and the fucking Floyd Rose and hot pickups,
Yeah.
Between those three, I want to say like maybe, I don't know, a year or two ago, I would say you probably would have chose punk, right?
Yeah.
But now you're kind of in it where you're playing kind of pretty much the other two. So I guess maybe
you're ruining my BMK, right?
I know, but I'm like, I kind of am interested to hear what you would say. So what are you going for?
So probably, let's see. Yeah, see, I think even I've changed even in the last couple of months with getting this single, like the single coil Strat.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to bang the super.
Really?
Yeah, I really think so. I don't know. Maybe because like the American just feels great playing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's tough though because I love both of them. I built the Super Strat basically to however I wanted it. With some boutique stuff in there. Small builders. Like Warmouth. So I guess bang the Super Strat, marry the single or the standard,
yeah,
and then kill the punk, because I don't know, you can get that. Like, I guess you can get that punk sound out of the Super if you're just running one coil, one pickup.
Yeah,
which usually they're probably. I bet the punk pickup is still hotter, right? But. But I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of my So,
but
bang the Super, marry the standard, kill the punk.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Do you think that you're playing more, or maybe just the music that you're writing, that you're liking single coils more?
Yeah, I think maybe because I'm recording digitally, and so I'm like trying to find like the least amount of like stuff to hit the front end.
Yeah,
I think that's probably why I'm going to the single. And then if I want to, I can turn up the gain in the DAW, in the plugin.
Yeah.
And not that you still can't get the same sound, right? But you can get something. And I'm not making super heavy stuff, so. And
then, I mean, definitely the other two, the Super Strat and the standard Strat. It's like so many more different types of sounds you can get out of it.
Bonal, tonal options.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess with like your Super Strat or whatever in particular, it doesn't have a Floyd Rose. It has a Super V trim.
Yeah.
Right? That's a great trim.
It's really good.
And then, but you can get really good kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'm a really bad judge because I owned a Les Paul and I'm like, oh, you get really like Les Paul-y sounds out of the Strats because it has the two super distortion humbuckers.
Yeah.
And has the 3-way switch. I'm like, oh man, this is very, it's very Les Paul-esque. And people like ripping out their fucking, smashing their phones. I'm like, it's not.
Are you an idiot?
Fucking
It's not even shaped like one.
It's not even close.
that headstock isn't going to snap.
How could you say that? The bridge is a fucking vibrato.
Not authentic.
Yeah. It's a bolt-on.
Yeah. You're an idiot.
It needs to be glued to the body.
Yeah. I don't even think Epiphones are considered guitars.
Yeah. So I haven't really I don't know, gave a real shot to a Strat in forever. Like on my own gear, ever. Actually, not in forever, but ever. I think I've played
hey, just fly all the way here and play this one.
Try this one out for our size.
Instead of go to your local guitar center.
No, I'm telling you, once you get your plate set up, I'm going to cruise out there and I'm just going to be diarrheaing in the lake while I'm playing the Strat, dude.
Diarrheaing?
Yeah.
Is that the plural or the verb?
Yeah.
Diarrhea-ing?
Yeah, just a White Claw. No, it was... It was a coworker. She was like saying, "Oh, Kyle, asking about and she's like, "Oh, he's working. They're getting a place." I'm like, "You got to go out there, man. You got to get it all. Just get on the fucking lake and just get trashed. That's what you guys just got to do." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, yeah. Eventually, once it gets his house, it's like, she's like, it's awesome. Just get on the lake and get drunk." I'm like, and chill out.
Like they're a pro. They know exactly.
She's like in her 40s. She's like, I'm like, chill out. She's like, that's bro time on the lake, just getting drunk. And I'm like, and don't worry, it's in the plan. It's on the menu.
It's on the menu.
Yeah. But I guess my
what are you?
Probably kill this like kind of a little preface there. Probably kill the 3 single coil because I don't know it. So I'm like, I can't put a face to the name. So fucking.
Well, this is really good bang, marry, kill apparently.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have to marry the punk one because that's what all my shit is.
Not because you like it, but because you own it.
Yeah, no, I mean all of them are, and I honestly love that setup. And
you
then
like punk guitars, buy every single one and customize them too.
And name every punk guitar. And then I would bang the Super Strat because I really did. I really did like yours. I'm like, this thing it's really versatile. I couldn't tell if it was just like really fun to play because it was the neck and the combination of everything worked out really well for that one.
Yeah, I lucked out, I think, on all that stuff.
Yeah, the neck was super comfortable, and once it got
the neck, I got off Craigslist, like in town.
Yeah, once it got
the finish was shitty, but I'm like, who cares? Like, it still feels really great.
Yeah,
it just kind of smoothed it out a little bit.
Yeah, kind of weighed out really well. Like it was like weighted well, I guess. Yeah, so I would say that one's pretty cool, and I say that to like kill the 3 single coils, but I definitely want to get that for my Strat. Because I think that would be a really good, and I say the whole punk thing is like you got the one sound, it's cool. But I'm like, if you're trying to write or play or just find inspiration in the sound, you might not get that from the punk the punk one because it's like that is the sound. So I mean, if you're like looking for like I don't know different type of vibe or whatever, you literally can't get that.
Yeah,
maybe you can roll down the volume, but it's like that's about it. And obviously, then you would have to get it all from either amps or pedals or whatever, which is it's a whole different thing.
It's his own thing.
It's his own thing. Yeah, that's why I thought it was a really cool one because I'm like, they each are. It would be rad to have both, or I mean, not both, but all 3. Because I'm like the punk one. I say that like, and I have like 4 iterations of that style, and I like them all.
Yeah,
but I'm like, I guess maybe I would. Maybe it'd be. You can't do anything about it now, but if I had an SG with 2 humbuckers, I'm like, whoa, damn, that's fucking slow down there.
Whoa.
I think having the 3 single coils, that's going to be, I think by the end of the year, that might be a goal gear for me. It's like getting a new fucking pick guard and then those pickups from Mike.
Yeah.
And I think.
Do it.
Because I'm like, the trem or, the vibrato, I don't think I would get as much benefit or use out of that as I would the pickup selection, right? Or is that,
yeah.
Do you feel like you're like, oh, once you have like the vibrato, you're like, oh man, I use this so much more than like the say switching to humbuckers or dual humbuckers or whatever?
No, I definitely switch between humbuckers more than, what? Fuck. I mean, I'm about to say that, but like I do add a little bit of trim, like on notes a little bit. I mean, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at bending and stuff, but it's still nice to hold in a note and kind of just, flutter a little bit. But yeah, like I do my rhythm, literally like, rhythm and then flip down to lead. So when I record a track, I'll usually try and have a different tone off the same guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe I used. I just made like 17 different noises right there.
Hum and hey, hum and hey, hum and hey.
You call me foghorn, leghorn.
Yeah, I say.
These pickups, yeah. Yeah, I would use the selector more, I think.
Where is that rabbit?
Okay.
If you want a pickup, I'll show you one. Anyway.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think of
my. You're doing what I was doing.
Yeah, I'm looking at my guitars. My Strat, it blocked off trim, so I wouldn't be. I wouldn't use it because it's the Squire.
The standard one.
Yeah,
yeah. But if you change that out to Super V,
I don't know if that would be worth it, or the body just breaks apart trying to fucking do that one.
You do one dive. It just shatters.
Yeah. So I'm like
it's made of glass.
Yeah. And then, so I'm like, I would think of like, just the pickups would be good enough for me. I would still have that trem blocked off. But, yeah. So, let's get on out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. If you like what you hear, you can follow along on social media. We have Facebook. We have a group you can join, linked in the description, or just search the Tone Jerks. You'll find it. And then we're on Instagram at the Tone Jerks, posting cool shit on the reg over there. And if you like what you hear, you can help support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week. And you get the whole back catalog of all the other episodes. You know, all the juicy ones of Kyle talking about going to outhouses and, shitting in
public places,
shitting in rivers. It's all good.
Tunnels.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be adding to that. I'm like, that's my goal, dude. Inner tube down the river and just fucking blasting ass.
Yeah.
And then just eating barbecue and fucking White Claws and just fucking shit.
Living it up.
No. I'll drink Pepper Jacks and barbecue.
Yeah.
Really be Texas.
Diet Dr. Pepper Jacks.
Yeah. Or no, the pepper or the zero.
Diet Dr. Pepper Jacks.
Yeah. Anyway, what we're talking about? Oh yeah, Patreon. Yeah, we get the whole back catalog over there. Check it all out. Get it to your RSS feed, or you can, join for $2. Download all the episodes, and then you can just peace. I think that's not a bad move either. If you join for $2, you get all those episodes. Just throw them on a drive or something like that. But just for the support, we wanted to give you all a huge shout out, a sizable acknowledgement. Kyle, you got a list over there?
I got it right here.
Why don't you give it to...
Before I start reading, I just want to say if you guys are going to join the Facebook group, make sure you answer those questions. We don't know if you're a robot. We don't know if you mean harm to us. We want to know if you're human.
We only want sex robots in there.
Yeah. Jeez. Like the ones from Blade Runner, you know? Well, no, I'm saying? All right, anyway.
I was thinking of like Bender, Futurama, the Crushinator.
Damn. Yeah, all right. So we got Andrew Walsh from Andrew's Alcove, Abe Newman, Michael Newman, Nicholas Payson, Nicholas Ogburn, Doug King, Doug Chris from 37 Effects, Masters of the Cinematic Universe, and Just Surprise Me, Joe from Like My Pedals, Just Surprise Me, and Masters of the Cinematic Universe. I have those like flipped.
Yeah.
I think it flows better. Masters of the Cinematic Universe, and then Just Surprise Me, and the other ones, Just Surprise Me and Masters. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Will Lehue from the Just Surprise Me podcast as well, and R.J. Smith from Teletalks and YouTube fame,
and the Just Surprise Me podcast fame,
and the Just Surprise Me podcast fame.
You're like trying to cram that all in.
Jamie Davis, Johnny Ray, Jason Fuzzmonger, Steve Mike from Hardly Human.
Yeah.
Steve Rao from 60 Cycle Hum.
I'm trying to interject here, but I'm like, I sometimes I put music on the beginning and ending of the episodes. Sometimes I don't. I wonder if I should just at least put music just for these name reads, like some like elevator music. Do. Nowhere.
Oh man, I was on hold today for an hour. For work.
An hour?
Man,
I just passed over that. And that's egregious.
The song they had on there was at least 30 seconds long. So it was cycled every 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And so I heard that song probably 120 times. Let's just dumb it down. Let's say it's 100 times, probably more.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
For an hour. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean,
and then it would pause.
Probably driving or something, maybe.
What? Was it?
Were you like driving, or are you just sitting there on the phone?
I didn't want to be on the phone. I didn't want to be on the phone officially with work and drive. I don't want to get tagged.
So you just fucking sit.
Looks like you were moving.
Sitting in an Arby's parking lot or whatever. Just fucking.
It was a gas station parking lot. It was even shadier, probably.
Crushing DPs.
Yeah.
Just getting.
No, dude, I think I'm going to give up DP, actually.
Just getting DP'd. What?
Yeah.
You giving up the DP?
Yeah. What was that? This is like a Seinfeld bit. What are you talking about?
What are you giving up the DP?
You're the best at it.
I thought you loved them. You won't stop talking about it. Oh God! Have you tried the Coke with the peanuts in it?
No, I haven't. Or I have tried it. I haven't tried it in a long time. Is it good?
That's what I wanted to ask. I think I saw it.
I mean, I don't remember it being like anything special.
Well, because I saw it, I think I don't remember where it was. Like somebody said, "Oh, this is good," and it's keto. They put it in Coke Zero. I'm like, "Oh God!" And people are like, "I just threw up in my mouth."
Oh. What about M&Ms and popcorn? That's like the same thing. It's like those don't really go together. The M&Ms just hit the bottom. And the peanuts float.
Oh, see, well, that's the best way for the popcorn trick. You'd be like, oh, well, the M&Ms like fell to the bottom there.
You gotta get deep down inside.
I got a tube of M&M minis for you at the bottom there. Like the commercial where it was like a fun.
If you actually had a tube down there and you buried it in popcorn, or
and they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But it's like a swarm. You remember like the M&M's mini commercials where it's like a tornado of mini M&M's, but it's just fucking. But you say that with your friends. You do the popcorn trick with your guy friends. You're like, "Oh, hey Johnny, got some fucking popcorn for you, pal."
Damn. We got Colin Smith.
Extra butter for you.
Kevin He Quits from He Quits Guitars. Co Schneider from the Flippin' Flippers podcast.
You're like, okay, we're done here.
Yeah. Alvaro Viramontes. Brian Nutter of Nutter Guitars. Mel Chipson of Chipson Guitars. Those guys need to get together and work out something, I think.
Got a chip nut?
Damn.
Or nut, son? Meet George Nutson.
Okay. You're getting really silly. Oh, man. Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop. Sean Fahey of San Antonio. Yeah. Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects. Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects. Mike Oxbig. Oh, yeah. That's the popcorn trick. Yeah. Those guys they probably have it perfected. It's like, I need the
fucking
I need you to triple stack that that popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Hugh G-Rection.
They need was it the Rubbermaid trash cans?
The Brute.
Yeah. They walk in with Brutes on their laps.
Zach Hale, Eric Merrill from Elm Effects, Scott Hamilton from Elp Podcast. No, the Effects Loop Podcast.
He sent me some. Whatever. I'm gonna blow him up. He sent me this like meme or whatever. It's like, you ever see like a table that has kind of like a grate looking, like an outdoor table or whatever.
Outdoor table, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like kind of that. Also for chairs. So what you want to do is like, or put your hand and press it on it really hard. So when it has like leaves that impression on your hand, it's like, oh, we just leveled up the stranger. Step up it's ribbed for your pleasure.
I thought the reverse stranger was leveling up.
Yeah.
That's like
you're like, I was editing that. I'm like, you're just jerking off a limp dick. And like, dude, I love pleasuring myself. You never get hard.
Okay. All right. Tim Noack from Bardic Audio Devices.
This is rad.
Jonathan Jeruzik from 12th Hour Devices.
You can't get hard.
Tyler Rhines of Casey's Riff Room. No, I just read it like it was Tyler Rhines. Tyler Casey Riffs. Dang.
Yeah.
And Matthew Fenslaw from our Facebook group.
Oh, yeah.
And many others. I've seen him dancing around in some others.
Oh, but he's shining in ours.
Yeah. And Michael McVeigh.
There you go.
And that's the list.
All right. Well, we love it when the dogs shine. And we, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for supporting.
See you next week. We love you. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye.